Hi, welcome to Prayers Radio.
Hi.
I'm Reverend Rich. This is
Reverend
Reverend
Paul.
Paul. And we have our special guest. Come on, Paul, help me with this.
Right there.
Eve Chauvel. Did I say that right?
Chauvel.
See, I told her, it's
You
just.
did it again.
But hey, this is Prayers Radio. We're only about prayer.
Affirmative prayer.
And it's Science of Mind, or this home.
Woohoo!
And this is a fantastic show. So what we're going to do is let our guest do our prayer in for this show. Go ahead, Eve.
Okay, fantastic.
Hey.
Well, let us know right here, right now, that there is only one mind, one essence, one energetic force that moves in us, through us, as us, functioning for our greatest good and the greatest good of all. I know that our time together is going to be filled with positivity and energy and awareness. So grateful for everything that comes our way, grateful for this life, grateful for all the blessings. I say thank you, God, and released into law. I know my word is done. And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is. And the universe says yes.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Well, it's very important. She actually wrote a book that's Science of Mind based with Ernest Holmes quotes in it. I said to her, I said, Eve, it's time. You need to put this out there in terms of the Science of Mind community, because she has a powerful message on grief and how to deal with it, how it should, at least in my opinion, which, I'm sort of biased, but in my opinion, she's handled it very, very well, because I actually saw her going through the process. But I'm not going to spoil it for here. I'm going to let her tell a little bit about this. Just two other things. She is a Science of Mind practitioner and has an MBA. And I'm going to let her explain a little bit more about herself on what she wants to share, right? And at the end, we'll plug her book and her site a little bit more.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks again for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure. I have been a spiritual mind practitioner with OC Spiritual Center since 2015. And it's a wonderful thing to be licensed in and just know the truth for everyone who comes my way and asks for prayer. I was introduced to this philosophy in 2012 after visiting my mom, who lives in Port Angeles, Washington. She took me to her center, and I thought, gosh, there has to be a place like this in Orange County. So upon returning, I did a quick Google search and found Dr. Jim Terrell and his church. And I write a little bit more of the backstory in my book, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But when I entered the doors of University Synagogue, where we formerly held our services, I felt like I was home. I received a big virtual hug that just blanketed me with warmth, let's say. And I knew that was the place I needed to be. So that's a little bit of the backstory on how I found Science of Mind, and taking classes with Reverend Janet and Carla Shiratis gave me more insight into the philosophy. So when Janet approached me once and asked if I would consider being a practitioner, I, of course, said yes. And here I am all these years later. You have a question for me?
No, I was going to say her website is Eve. I'm going to spell it EVECHAUVEL.com for those of you like myself that have challenges spelling sometimes.
And you'll put that in the notes too.
Of course, I've put everything in the notes. And then she said OCspiritualcenter.com. I'm not going to help you with the spelling with that, folks. You're going to have to know that one.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get to the questions, and then go from there.
Yay.
Oh,
go ahead, Paul.
So Eve, any tangible results that you've gotten from or through the use of prayer, spiritual mind treatment?
Oh, all the time, right? All the way from something as simple as a parking place to demonstrating a new house, the purchase of a new house, and
Well,
everything in
tell us
between.
about that. How did you do that with spiritual mind treatment?
About the house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I had been considering downsizing. This is 10 years ago. And I was on my way to join a group of spiritual people on a trip to Bali. And as I drove by the house that I currently own, I noticed it was for sale. And I thought, oh, I'm going to be gone for 10 days. I'm sure it'll be off the market when I return because it's a hot property. Lo and behold, when I got back, it was still on the market. So I reached out to my, and I'm praying the whole time, of course, because this is just a natural thing that I do subconsciously. I reached out to my real estate agent and she got me on a tour. And within a week, this is the Reader's Digest version, within a week, I made an offer. It was countered. I made another offer. It was accepted and we closed. And
Nice.
it was the first time I had made a purchase like this on my own, which was very empowering as a woman. And then knowing that my prayers were answered
Mhm.
was just that confirmation that everything is working for my highest good.
I like
Now,
that. There's no little or big in the law. It says yes no matter what.
Correct.
well,
Now, go
go ahead.
ahead.
Oh, I think it's important that we show our audience the book that we're talking about so that we can
Sure.
preface that a little bit. Would you hold it up
Yeah.
for us?
Yes, yes. So
And she wrote this.
I wrote this, A Love Letter to Thomas, My Journey Through Grief. I also took the picture of the cover. Um, I wrote this while I was taking a screenwriting class, working on a different story. And it was one of those aha moments where I realized the universe has been giving me material to write about my entire life. And I've
Mm.
taken several writing courses and never really completed anything this significant, this large. And I wrote the book in 9 months with the help of my publishers and editors, Anne Para and her husband, John Lunsford. Anne is also a practitioner up at CSL Reno. The book really focuses on how I use science of mind philosophy in my journey through grief when my late husband, Thomas, died tragically at the beginning of the pandemic.
Mm.
And as I was writing the story, I said, oh, yeah, this is the one that I need to complete because hopefully more people will be exposed to the science of mind philosophy and
Mm.
learn just how practical and easy it is to navigate through difficult times or seemingly difficult times.
Can you give us an example of the prayers that you used with the book?
You mean when I was writing it
When
or
you were writing
prayers
it,
within?
when you were writing it, you counted on prayer to help you through it. So what was that like?
Uh, well, it was sort of mixed because there were moments that I was hesitant, quite honestly, to relive and regurgitate.
Mm.
Um, but I trusted that spirit was guiding me the entire way. Um, I could probably pull a prayer out of here if I got to the right page.
Well, let me just preface that so that you have a chance if you choose to. That
Okay.
that Thomas was a very wonderful man that came to our church a lot, and he's a Frenchman. For those that are a French audience that will probably be watching this, made wonderful crepes, in my opinion. Which he was a great guy, but there was. I'm going to let you, the audience, actually look at her book, and there, I want to just give a disclaimer that there was a challenging spot in there when the accident did happen. So I just want to make sure that this show that we're doing right now is to help you, the listener, know that Science of Mind is there to actually help you in the challenging times that you currently have. And that's why we're doing this show at this time of year. I'm leaving the neutral part on the year because we have many seasons. People will watch this.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's just probably one of the greatest Science of Mind novels out there for grief, in my opinion. And I'm sort of biased because you're my friend.
Aw, thank you. Yeah,
So
well, I appreciate you, Richard. I do want to plug you in because not only is the book in paper form, it's almost ready to be released in the Audible form, and Richard helped me with that using AI. So thank you for that. And that will reach, I believe, a broader audience because a lot of people like to listen to books rather than read them physically.
well, it's
And
my
then if
honor
you
to
think
do
people that are visually challenged too will get to hear the book. I'd be happy to read the prologue, which is very short, if that is
That's
helpful.
perfect.
You
Yeah,
okay?
it's
All
about a
right.
minute and a half.
Okay. So each chapter, including the prologue, begins with a little quote. This one is from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye.
Mm.
Thomas never enjoyed novels, save one, The Little Prince. Soft covered and dog eared, it was always with him. French was his native tongue, yet this version was in English. He never told me how he had acquired it. A man of few possessions, Thomas nestled this novel in his rugged burlap men's satchel, guaranteeing its safe passage as he traversed all 7 continents. Over the course of his mere 43 years on the planet, Thomas created a lifestyle that enabled him to live, work, and travel at will. Standing 6'2", slim and fit, there was a gentleness about him. Anyone who was fortunate enough to be in his presence knew they had been touched by an angel.
Mm.
Mm.
His hazel brown eyes sparkled, displaying a curiosity about life, people, and radiating genuine kindness. Never quick to anger, he had a calm demeanor that quickly put people at ease. It's no wonder I was attracted to him. My heart was aching for a soul-filled type of love that my current marriage of 11 years was lacking. I knew I had suppressed my desire for a more adventurous life for far too long. Little did I know the moment I first saw him, Thomas would lead me to the greatest adventure of all, a realization of unconditional love and forgiveness. That's the prologue.
And it's quite the love story, too.
I do want to mention that in the back of the book, I list out what we believe, the Science of Mind tenets, and then there's a whole host of resources for people because for me, I believe that we need to have a body of work to draw on when we are on our spiritual journey and not just
Mm.
limit ourselves to the Science of Mind books or books written by Ernest Holmes.
Awesome.
So any other questions, or you want me to talk more about the contents of the book?
Well, we
What
want to make
triggered
sure.
you? Go ahead,
Go
Rich.
ahead, Paul. No, I was going to say we're gonna go to the main questions because we want to see how your mind works with Science of Mind versus our other folks, and because everybody has their own take on the questions that we have. But I felt it was so important that we
Mm.
put that out there that people know what this book's about, that it is Science of Mind directly associated. So go ahead, Paul.
So, how do you stay
Shotgun.
grounded in prayer when something comes up for you?
Say that again.
How do you stay grounded in prayer when something like an effect that comes up?
Well, first thing I do is breathe.
Mm.
Yeah, for me that connects me to source because that's the first step in settling any sort of energetic imbalance that is happening with a condition. And just knowing, just turning inward and knowing that all is well and the universe is conspiring for my greatest good.
Mm. It's perfect.
How do
Great.
you prep your day? Do
How do
you
I
just
prep
wake
my
up?
day?
Yeah, you just say, "Here's my coffee, and here I
I
am,
love
and
it. I
pet
love
the
this.
cat."
uh, First thing I do, unless my bladder is calling, is I meditate. I sit up in bed and I sit for 10 minutes. I like the guided meditations from the Calm app.
Mm.
I've also used Dr. Joe Dispenza's morning meditation, which I believe is 30 minutes long. If I don't have enough time to do that, I'll just focus on the 10-minute calm. And then I check in with my gratitude group. I have a text chain with several people, and we just share whatever we're grateful for in the moment. And for me, it's usually a reflection of the prior day and all the joys that I had to experience
Mm.
during those 24 hours. Uh, then I will get my coffee. I take it black. And then I read the Science of Mind daily guides. I love those. Those, for years, have been a foundational element for me in the morning. And it's interesting because if I go on a trip and I forget to bring the magazine or I don't have access to the online, I have to tell myself my day's still going to go well. It's okay that I wasn't able to, check that one morning routine off my list. It's going to be fine.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and then another book that I've really started embracing is The Daily Stoic. I don't know if you're familiar with
No, who
that.
is that by?
Ryan Holiday. He actually has a podcast called The Daily Stoic, and has written several books about Stoicism and all of the Greek philosophers. Sometimes I believe that their teachings are a little askew because they lived in a very different time during this planet's evolution. So I'll read it and I'll take the bits and pieces that I think will work for me or
Mm.
are aligned with how I feel in the moment. But it's again just another tool that we have. Um, and all of this, is coupled with prayer. As Reverend Janet says, every moment is a meditation, every thought is a prayer. So I'm constantly praying.
So the Stoicism for our audience is based on the works of Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman general, I believe.
Hmm.
There's more to it than that, but that's the basis of it, I believe, which
Yeah.
I find fascinating myself. What do you how do you adjust it during your day? I mean, when you have a challenge and goes bam, and your book talks about the challenge, but how do you do it?
Hopefully,
How
I'll
do you
never
do it?
have one of those again.
I don't wish that upon anybody, the challenges that you've had in that book, but at least you've shown to be able to share with our audience that how you've dealt with it in terms of adjusting your life and your goals in your life
Mhm.
and how you've overcome that. But
Mhm.
now, after you've gone through that challenge, because I don't want to spoil the book for our audience, is that how do you adjust when a challenge pops up in your day, Eve?
Again, getting back to the breathing, saying a quick little affirmation or prayer, and just knowing it's all going to work out for my highest good. I also think that laughter helps.
Welcome to our show.
More so now than ever, we're just living in this comedic environment and gotta laugh it off. You know,
Mm.
people are gonna act how they want to act. Situations are going to unfold the way they do, and just focus on the good. Keep a
Mm,
smile on your face.
Mm.
And this isn't to say that one should dismiss emotions that come up. I think it's important to move through the emotions because, as Louise Hay believes or believed, if they get trapped in the body, they can um, exhibit themselves as disease. So we want to try to be as healthy as possible in mind, body, and spirit.
That's nice. And we activate the law through those feelings, through the thought and feeling, and that activates the law to say yes.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so
And
since
I believe
becoming
also being a Reiki master, it has allowed me to redirect energy if I feel like it's intrusive on me or someone else. I can, move it aside into
like a little
something.
Yoda there.
There you go. No,
So
no
since
Yoda impressions.
yeah. So since becoming a practitioner, how do you feel your spiritual mind treatment, your prayers have changed or evolved?
um, I think they've gotten a little more. I'll say affirmative. Just I'm more confident
Mm.
in when I speak my word into the law, and just the knowing, even if the person who's coming to me for prayer isn't at that stage yet, I know for a fact that what I'm declaring is happening.
Mm.
That's
And it's
nice. It's never about the other person. It's about us, right?
right, right, right. Yes, yes. And it is interesting in this holiday season, there's all this busyness around and people focused on getting things done, and maybe they're not in the best of mood. And just I've noticed that a simple smile or a quick little hello, even to a stranger, can shift things. So
That's
that's
nice. And when it shifts for them, it shifts for you. And for you, it shifts for
and
them.
yeah, and for everybody, because there's that ripple effect.
There you
Exactly.
go. It
Yeah,
goes through us and out around us.
yeah,
That's the best thing right there. Hey,
yeah.
how do you explain this philosophy to somebody that doesn't have a clue of what you're talking about? Science of mind,
Oh,
and they go to other things, but let's leave that where
yeah.
it's at because we
I
respect
love
all
this
religious
question. I
philosophies. Go
love
ahead,
this
go
question.
for it.
I actually met a woman last night who was curious about our philosophy. First and foremost, it's a philosophy and a way of life. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
religion.
And a faith.
Yes,
Yeah,
and a faith.
the big book.
I like to explain that we have the seven principles of love, light, life, peace, beauty, joy, and truth. And I also like to share that faith is believing in something you can't see, and where science of mind falls into that is with examples like electricity. You can't see electricity, but you can see the effects of it.
Mm.
And it can be used for something positive, like lighting a room, or something not so positive, like electrocuting an individual. So, we get to choose how to use these powers and those spiritual principles.
That's
And also
nice.
be the light, be the light.
Mhm.
If you see someone who is in a difficult place, just be that light and know for them that what they're experiencing is temporary and they have volition to move through it. And maybe we are the vehicle to help them along that path. Does that make sense?
That makes
There's
sense.
no accidents. Everybody's pulled into us for some reason, whether we have to learn from them or they have to learn from us or we have to change our mind.
Right, right. I do
But
believe in boundaries, though. I
there you
do
go.
believe in boundaries.
That's
Yeah.
good.
It's more of a self preservation tactic than anything.
Mm,
But, as the airline attendants say, put your oxygen mask on first before you help your
Mm.
child. So
what's your
I believe in that wholeheartedly. Yeah.
what's your favorite Ernest Holmes book? And we always say the Science of Mind or this thing you call you, but do you have another one besides that?
I think living the science of mind, because it's much more practical
There you
than
Mm.
go.
the thick science of mind text. And it's tangible for people who are just learning the philosophy. The chapters are really short, so that's when I recommend often.
And do you have a favorite Ernest Holmes quote? I know there's many out there, but what one resonates with you?
um, I don't know if this is a direct quote, but he said, if I remember correctly, just because I'm writing this doesn't mean it's true. So we're open at the top, right? And even he is saying, test it out for yourself, play with this
Mm.
philosophy. I am not the end all and be all just because I wrote this book. And I love that it's so refreshing when compared to other spiritual belief systems and religions that are quite dogmatic. We have
We're at the
volition and freedom.
we're at the 5 minute mark, so we're going to shotgun the few questions we have, and then give you enough time to talk a little bit about your book.
Okay.
Uh, Different results for prayer. I think you've already covered that. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, and I have another question related to your book.
Okay.
What have you learned about prayer or spiritual mind treatment through writing the book?
It works. um, that it's important to keep reciting prayers until you see a demonstration.
Mm.
Um, just a quick footnote, the crux of this story is that Thomas died quite tragically and suddenly right in front of my face. And
Mm.
yes, I go into great detail, and there's a disclaimer for people that are sensitive to those types of stories. Um, but one of the first things I did as he was lying on the ground was go to prayer.
Mm.
I stood there by his body when the paramedics were working on him, and I said, "Okay, God, you do what you do. Let them do what they do, and the outcome will be what it is." You know?
Mm. Powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, there's times that I still can't believe that this story was my story, but it is, and I've got proof. But
Well,
I'm so I didn't mention gratitude other than one of my morning routine exercises. I am so grateful for everyone who helped me put this book together, everyone who played a role in this story, from the helpers to, um, you know, Janet and Jim and all the practitioners. There's hundreds of people. My acknowledgement section is 5 pages long, I think. So yeah, it takes a
so
village.
so we got a couple of questions, and then we're going to do our final question, and then we'll have you pray out.
Okay.
When do you release a prayer to law? When it first comes in your mind, or do you say, "Okay, I now release it into the law of action and let God run with it, or the universe run with it," depending on.
Well, isn't it's the last step of our 5 step prayer?
Mm.
So for me, yeah, it's that last. I think it's the most powerful part because I've had experiences where when I get to that step, I feel it viscerally in my body when I just let go. Time for the divine to handle it.
And the final question, Paul.
Um, what would be your takeaway for people not familiar with our philosophy that are listening to the show?
No, what takeaway would you want our audience to take away from the show? Because we already asked that question, dude.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on.
Would you
This
want
is
our audience
this
to
is
take away?
live, folks. Prayers
Okay,
conversation. So come on now.
I would say you are important and you are loved, and you play a valuable role in this planetary evolution. So stay with us and keep doing what you love with joy and peace and exuberance.
Well, that's perfect.
Good.
Well, we are Prayers Radio, and we are always live. And Paul, as you always seen in our show, Paul goes, "Oh no, it's affirmative prayer." I'm like, "What?"
And would
So
you
would
like,
you
oh, go
go
ahead. I
ahead?
was going to say, Eve, would you like to do the benediction for us? So pray us out.
Sure, I'd be honored. Okay. So, settling into this moment, let us know right here, right now, that God is all there is. we are ever connected to this source, and it moves in us, through us, as us, functioning for our greatest good and the greatest good of all. This time together has been filled with joy and love and peace and happiness. And I know that everyone listening has taken away something meaningful for them, something they can apply to their own life and move forward with that trust in divine givingness, divine gratitude. And in this context of gratitude, I say, thank you, God. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for these amazing gentlemen. Thank you for the growth that we've all experienced and released into law. I know what I've declared is done, and so it is.
So it is.
Fantastic. So I am Prayers Radio. So is Paul. You can find us at prayersradio.com, and we want to say hi to our newest additions to our thing, because we're on 18 platforms now. And Paul, where can they find you?
And you can find me at iamspiritalive.com.
And then just to replug, Eve Chauvel. Did I say that right?
Chauvel.
See, I always do that.
.com.
Eve.com. No. And then ocspiritualcenter.com is where she can be found at. And if you don't want a prayer, and just remember, if you don't say a prayer, you haven't got a prayer. So what we say now is bye. I wave. Bye.